Hello, and welcome to another day of TA the Degen way. Well, today I want to look at CFX. Here, once again, we are on our Trading View Ideas page. There's a link in the description if you want to follow us. Yesterday we talked about INJ, and we've been talking about Bitcoin. And now I want to take a look at CFX. And kind of what I'm looking at, just the short version, is we have seen a pretty decent pullback. You know, this moved 25x off the bear market bottom. That's pretty significant. It was one of the biggest movers. Did a more than sufficient pullback. Nice, good curved momentum to the upside. Put it a higher high, so you got a higher low, higher high, and then now we've put in this nice double bottom. And you know, this is the price range for the last 3 years, and we are pretty much at the value area low. And if you look at the oscillator, you can see our curvature to the upside. This is telling us that we're in the season, you know. So and then here I've marked out our octave scale. These are just repeats of this range, you know, from right here at the value area low to this high, this kind of accumulation range. You can see momentum. We're losing it to the downside. You can see momentum to the downside, and we're starting to build upward momentum as momentum slows to the downside. You know, maybe we range here for a little while. So right here, I mean, 25 cents, you know, 27 cents, that is not even a 50% retrace of this high here. So here's our fib scale, you know, so I've got it set at swing low down here at, you know, 10 cents or so. What was I talking about a few months ago? I mean, I was talking about 5-10 cents, you know. I mean, I didn't expect 55 cents, but man, here we sit. You know, but we are in this time period where we should be looking for upward momentum. I mean, a front run of a 50% retrace in this octave scale lines up quite nicely with price action. And you know, these are just this range. Here's a doubling of that range, a triple. There's 4 times, 5 times. You know, usually that ends at 5. And you know, when we do our retrace levels line up quite nicely. And here is our 1.5 expansion of this range. You know, look at all the support that we got off of the bear market. People, you know, sold, took profit. People did the same thing again. We put in a higher high, but we picked up all these users here, you know. And if we still are holding all those users, and you got people enticed by this, and maybe we've held more of these users, that's why you get, you know, the range expands if that support that made this 25x is still there. And I don't see why it wouldn't be. So I mean, that's what I'm looking at on CFX. So CFX conflux, you know, that's my macro price expectations for CFX, is I am looking for upward action. Now that doesn't mean that we can't drop lower, but I mean the probability of insane drawdown is much lower than it was at 55 cents. Here, you know, 10 to 20 cents is you know, 1/5. That's big time. We already looked at our fib percentage base retrace levels. Let's take a look there again here real quick. You know, this is our 50% retrace. That's 125% gain from the current price. So, I mean, that's what I've got in this chart. I've got the fib scale set from the swing low to the swing, well, this swing low, you know, right here, to this swing high. There's 1, there's 0. So here is on the log scale, percentage-wise, this would be a 50% retrace of this entire swing, which is as common as can be. You got a 50% gain here just to stick with this average true range size here. And if If you make it up into the golden pocket, you're looking at about 125%. And if we have more support after putting in this double bottom and this 25x in price, and we could be looking at a range expansion. Usually it's 1.5. You get a little blow off. Maybe we make it up into this 75-cent range. That's a 350% gain. So that's what I'm looking at on CFX. So I'm looking to start, trading this potentially on smaller time frames and leave a little behind and reaccumulate. You can see that building up. We're on the daily here, and the daily looks pretty good. It'd be nice if we had a little pullback to take advantage of. Here we essentially just have a regular old Joe measured move. So now that, macro wise, we're kind of seasonally looking for a directional move of some form to the upside. Oh, I like that they added the add text, but it's hard to move the bar. See, a perfect measured move. That's convenient. So personally, I am looking at this break of structure on this ABC. It would be nice to get right back down in here in this 15, well, lower than, $14.50 to $15 range right there. And on the smaller time frames, like if we come down to like our hourly, maybe this reaccumulates here and just continues on. But let's look at our more zoomed in price action. So here's our break of structure. We're hopeful to see price pull back here. Here's our last support resistance flip right there. A little bit of a value gap. So that's 14.78. 15 cents is pretty darn fair. I would say that would be taking the liquidity below those lows. And let's look at that price action. If it's the season, when do we buy this? Should we buy it right now? I don't know. This right here, I feel like we already kind of broke momentum there, and you got this nice measured move. Here's a push up. It's got to consolidate. You get a push up. It was the same size. This should be telling you too that this is mostly traders in control. It's people trading these trading concepts. And then now we're consolidating, possibly for just a third move up, but this would be much nicer. And let's take a look at our oscillator on the hourly here. So our oscillator, and this is how I use this this is just a clean version of the price action. As momentum is building to the upside in the price action, it looks like it culminates about right there. So, you should be right off the bat looking, for something similar. It doesn't have to come all the way back down there, and you can see it in here's momentum growing to the upside. And then now you would expect to be in this period, but that doesn't mean we can't, get this right here, and that produces a big amount of price rise, and then it cools off and consolidates. The hourly rotates down, but price just kind of hangs out or does a shallow retrace, rotates back up, get more price rise. So it's either I would like to locally see it down here, but if it takes off out of here, we are kind of in that time period where we should be looking for price rise. Let's get rid of our oscillator. So our oscillator is telling us that we could see that little cool off, which could give us this little pullback here. Doesn't mean that will happen. So that's what I would be looking for. getting in here and starting to accumulate. This pullback to this kind of 14.50, 15 cent area would be very nice. 15 cents, 14.80 to 15 cents sounds very good right in this value gap. If we consider this measured move to be over, you know, I mean, could always come back down here. I mean, there's no reason that it can't. Let's grab the volume profile here. There's a nice range here. Let's look at just this. I mean, this to me looks like accumulation on the weekly. So we're sitting here playing with this value area high. Yeah, so I mean, if we came back down here, that'd be halfway. That'd be this is your range, you know. So here's the highest volume in this range. Halfway to the POC is about right, kind of where we would like to get. That's where I would like to get. And if we consider trend line traders helping it along, you know, puts it right there. Let's grab our Gann box here. Let's set it right in this low. You know, I think I want to try to extend. Yeah, you know, you just have to watch and see. I mean, this could just take off out of here and try to put in a higher high. You know, but I mean, I think that we are in fair accumulation zone. A little pullback would be nice, you know, or even down lower. Maybe we just sit here in range like this and trading this on smaller time frames and just leaving a little bit behind and reaccumulating while we're down in this what looks like accumulation range in the high time frames is personally the way I would be looking at this. I'll look at that money flow on the small time frames. I mean, money flow is all solid in the red. You know, on the 5 minute, maybe we see some upward rise and we just reaccumulate it and on she goes. But hey, if you like this kind of content, do us a favor and go ahead and press that subscribe button, like button if you haven't done so already. There is a link to the free Discord in the description. But until next time, trade well.